Let's transition back to some college football and let's talk about the other matchup in college football as the Washington Huskies beat the Texas Longhorns 37-31 for the Longhorns. The quarterback, he went 24-43. He threw for 318 passing yards, one touchdown for the Huskies. Michael Penix, he went 29 of 38. He threw for 430 passing yards, and he had two touchdowns. So, my biggest takeaway from the Huskies 37-31 win over the Longhorns is the Heisman Trophy went to the wrong player this year. With all due respect to Jaden Daniels, the previous quarterback for the LSU Tigers, Michael Penix Jr. deserved the Heisman Trophy. I believe that he is not only the best player on the Washington Huskies football team, but he is the best player in college football, folks. He had a sensational performance. You look at what Michael Penix was able to do. He had the fourth most passing yards in a college football playoff game. Only Joe Burrow, Mac Jones, and Joe Burrow did it twice. Joe Burrow had 493 passing yards against Oklahoma, and he had 463 passing yards against Clemson, and then Mac Jones had 464 against Ohio State. Only Mac Jones and Joe Burrow twice had more passing yards in a college football playoff game than Michael Penix. This dude is the real deal, and whichever team decides to draft Michael Penix in the NFL draft, they have a franchise quarterback who they can build their team around for future seasons to come. He is the real deal. Seriously, he's playing some sensational football, and he is their offense. I mean, I'm looking at this Huskies offense and looking at how they flow and how they run. They had 102 rushing yards. But majority of their offense is Michael Penix. The way he's able to deliver the football, I don't think we've seen a quarterback have his kind of accuracy since Joe Burrow. Seriously, the performance that he had Monday against the Texas Longhorns, it reminded me of the run that Joe Burrow had when LSU won their championship back in 2019, I believe. It reminded me of that season. So Michael Penix is doing some tremendous things. And again, no disrespect to Jaden Daniels, but Michael Penix should have been the Heisman Trophy winner. And with Michael Penix as your quarterback, the Washington Huskies can beat anybody. They can beat anybody. You look at the Texas Longhorns defense. For the season, the Texas Longhorns defensively, they gave up, this is per game, they gave up 241 yards per game for the entire season. Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies offensively, they had 255 total yards of offense in the first half against that Longhorns defense. So he was able to move the football up and down against a pretty good Longhorns defense. For the game, the Huskies had 532 total yards of offense, and they had 430 passing yards. But I felt like this game was won for Washington late in the game on those two drives when they kicked those two field goals. Because this game was nip and tuck majority of the way. Now, Washington had the lead. I'm sorry, it was tied at half. At halftime, it was 21-21. Washington took the lead in the third quarter. They took a 31-21 lead into the fourth quarter. But those 2 field goals were the difference. But honestly, I thought that on that last drive, I thought that Quinn Ewers was going to get the Longhorns into the end zone. I thought when they got inside the 20, I'm like, they may score and win this game and leave Michael Penix no time left on the clock. But shout out to Michael Penix, man. He's the real deal as a quarterback. I can't say enough about him. He's a tremendous college football player, and he's going to definitely excel at the next level. Big time performance from Michael Penix. And Washington, they'll be in the national championship game against the Michigan Wolverines. So that defense by the Michigan Wolverines going up against this elite Washington Huskies offense, that's going to be a key matchup in the national championship game. We know Jim Harbaugh is known for his defense. So what can he scheme up to try to contain Michael Penix? But shout out to the Washington Huskies and shout out to Michael Penix for punching their ticket to the national championship game that will be played in Houston Monday night. It's the number 2 seed Washington Huskies versus the number 1 seed Michigan Wolverines for the national championship. Excited for that matchup.